Welcome back. Here's Coach Corey, MRDC. We're here today to show you a little bit more of our diving dryland drills. Today we are going to be showing you modeling for the forward direction on the slant board. This slant board was easily constructed. It is at an angle of 25 degrees. I also have another slant board that is angled at 30 degrees for some of my larger, more powerful divers. That angle necessarily should not be anything greater than 33 degrees, but 25 seems to be a pretty good intermediate angle. Now, this is taking a snapshot of the diving board when it's in its downward motion. And this is what we call the short board. As the board bends down, it gets shorter. And that is very, very important for our backs and inwards specifically as well, for those balance points. Today we're gonna be working on the fronts. We're gonna be hitting the magic position. Every category has a specifically different magic position, but they are all very similar in comparison. So we're gonna start off with a one-step hurdle, and we're gonna be modeling opposition rhythm. Opposition rhythm means when the board goes down, the arms go up. When the board goes down, the arms go up. And that's also coherent with bending the knees together and straightening the knees together. Bend together, straighten together. So, divers can be anywhere on the slant board. They do not have to be just at the end. The angle is the only thing that matters. Divers want to make sure that their posture and form is in check before starting. Square shoulders, brace on. We want to try to keep that back flat until we hit magic position. So, opposition rhythm is basically bending the knees together, raising the arms to our high Y, palms out hurdle position, and straightening the knees together. This is where we're breaking the string. You can remember that from previous education videos. We have this string attached to the hand, and we want to break the string. So it's bend together, high Y palms out, knees to position, straighten together, up on toes. Next action is where the diver will be drifting back down towards the diving board out of the top of the hurdle. At that point in time, the divers are going to drift and draw. They're going to drift their arms lateral down to shoulder level, and they're going to draw their knees slightly up into the body. They're doing this because we have to get ready to catch the diving board on the way down. When the diver leaves the board in the hurdle, the board is going to bounce once, twice, and the diver is to be landing on the board on that third depression. And we need to be catching that board on the way down. Usually divers will be stomping the board a lot of times because they're not finishing the ride in their hurdle, and they start their arm swing early out of the hurdle. So we want to practice that drift and draw in preparation for the catch and the load phase, which is the arm swing. So once the divers get to their draw phase, we're going to make sure that we fix the lower body position, because once we come in contact with the board, we want the lower back to go from flat to round. Okay? So, divers catch the board. Arms should in-locate to 7 at that point in time. In location, shoulders, hands have to be below the in-location point. For most people, that's somewhere around shoulder level. If the divers start their arm swing too early above their shoulders, they are going to have to change their shape to allow those arms to go through that path, which then is going to be causing balance issues. So, we drift down to shoulder level. As we catch the board, we in-locate to 7, fix that lower back round. We want to make sure that our feet are entirely flat, and then we have a pull action. Pull! Divers are going to bring their arms up over their head rapidly. Elbows are going to be pointing up straight at 12 o'clock. Wrists are going to be crossed behind the head. Divers want to make sure that the elbows are bent, hands are behind the head, wrists crossed. Elbows at 12 o'clock is going to allow us to create the biggest arc possible on the throw, which is very, very important. So a lot of divers have their arms short, they have their arms bent, they end up throwing down. We have to have elbows up so that when we throw, we're throwing up first, because this upward action throw creates reaction down into the feet. So we can then get more force through the feet, which is action, reaction for rotation. Okay. So, divers are in that pull position. Wrists are also crossed so that we can get the divers to throw straight directly down the center of the board because everything matters with direction, right? So once the divers are in that magic position, we want to make sure that their feet are flat. We have whole foot balance, so they shouldn't be able to pick up their toes or their heels. Everything should be glued down. And on fronts, this is the only category where your chest is vertical. And we can get vertical because of the changing angle of this board compared to our center of gravity and the direction of rotation. So once we're in that magic position, we can do voluntary takeoff, which is what we call jump shot. We extend through knees, elbows, ankles, push. There's the jump shot. If the diver wanted to model their dive, they can move down into position, post, body, and they can go through the whole dive. Okay? If it's an optional, once we're in that magic position, feet flat, chest vertical, brace on, lower back is round, in strong position for the push, we do an armpit throw. Strong. Okay? Now, this is normally where we would be going 90-90. If athletes go 90-90 on the slant board, athletes' feet will pick up air and we can actually rotate. So let's go through the forward takeoff again. Let's go through voluntary. Anywhere you want to on the board, make sure we square up, hit our positions, head levels, back is flat. Good. Bend together. High wide palms out, straighten together. Good. This is our extension out of the hurdle. Now we're drifting to the board. So we're going to drift our arms, draw our knees. Now we come in contact with the board and the arms in locate. Then pull. Voluntary. Jump shot. Open pipe. And optional. Bend together. Straight together. Drift and draw. In locate to 7. Brace is on, lower back round. Pull. Throw. Okay. That is our forward modeling on the slant board. This is very critical for the athletes to practice and train that balance position on the end of the board when that board is depressed. Divers are in the body squat, your squat position, half squat, wall sit position. That is a position divers are in the longest in the sport of diving. They will get a lot of practice on the slant board if they choose to do so. Thank you for joining us today with our diving Dryland drills. Coach Corey, MRDC. See you next time.